All right. So in the last class, we discussed about systematic random sampling, in which you take one random, non-random person. You select from one, for your sample, you select one non-random person from the sample, and after that, you select every kth person. Depending on your population size and your sample size, you will get one number. Let us suppose your population is 500, and your sample size is supposed to be 100. So you will select every fifth person. ठीक है, ऐसा आप पहले एक नॉन रैंडमली सेलेक्ट कर लेते हैं एक पर्सन को, उसके बाद एवरी फिफ्थ पर्सन फ्रॉम दैट विल बी सिलेक्टेड. देन क्लस्टर सैम्पलिंग और मल्टी स्टेप सैम्पलिंग में आप क्या कर रहे हैं, यू आर क्रिएटिंग स्मॉल स्मॉल क्लस्टर्स, एंड फ्रॉम दैट क्लस्टर यू आर अगेन परफॉर्मिंग सिंपल रैंडम सैम्पलिंग और सिस्टमैटिक रैंडम सैम्पलिंग इन दैट क्लस्टर, सो एज टू गेट a certain amount of sample numbers. ठीक है, now each have their own merits and demerits. Coming to the last type of probabilistic sampling, we have sequential sampling. So one second. Yeah, sequential sampling. Sequential sampling, see, this is very different from when compared to other methods of sample selection. यहाँ पर क्या कर रहे हैं, sample size is not fixed. That is the biggest difference between other types of sampling methods and this one. Sample size is not fixed. So how do you do sampling? This will be based on inferences that you can make. So what the investigator will do essentially is they will select the smallest possible sample. They will select one smallest possible number. They will perform their experiment on that number. Let us suppose they are not getting any desirable results from that sample. They will include a few more people. Then again they'll run the experiment. Okay? So they keep on running the experiment till they get desirable results. Okay? For example, let us suppose a researcher is studying association between smoking and lung cancer. Let us suppose a researcher is studying association between smoking and lung cancer. ठीक है, कितना ज्यादा स्मोक करे तो कितना ज्यादा लंग कैंसर आता है, या हाउ मेनी स्मोकर्स विल डेवलप लंग कैंसर. ठीक है, now initially the researcher will take smallest sample and they will try to draw inferences from those smallest samples. ठीक है, if those inferences are incomplete, or if they are not able to draw meaningful inferences from them, that researcher will include a few more people. ठीक है, so how will that experiment look? I will draw the table and show you. Let us suppose ठीक है, यहाँ पर number of subjects, smokers, now let us suppose the first one is number of subjects, then smokers. इसमें से let us categorize them in group A, non-smokers in group B. Okay, and people having lung cancer. ठीक है, lung cancer both in group A and group B. Okay, now let us suppose we make divisions like this. All right, now the first sample that you take, now remember sequential sampling mein you are trying to get inferences, or you're trying to get results with the minimum number of sample size possible. ठीक है, you will take the minimum number of people, and from those minimum number of people you are trying to get your desirable result. So in this case, desirable result is there any association between smoking and lung cancer? That is what you are trying to prove as a researcher. Now let us suppose the first in the first sample, small sample that you took, you included 20 subjects. ठीक है, small sample size है. इसमें से let us suppose 7 were smokers, 13 were non-smokers. ठीक है, and out of these people, out of smokers, let us suppose 2 people had lung cancer, and out of non-smokers 1 person had lung cancer. This is not giving you clear evidence. मतलब स्मोकर 7 है, लंग कैंसर 2 लोगों को ही है, यहाँ पर 13 लोग हैं, उसमें से एक को लंग कैंसर है. ठीक है, लेट अस इंक्रीज द सैंपल साइज स्लाइटली, 30 कर देंगे. नाउ लेट अस सपोज इन 30, 18 people are smokers and 12 people are non-smokers. ठीक है, and out of these 5 smokers developed lung cancer and 3 non-smokers developed lung cancer. Still not enough. तो आप क्या करते हैं, लेट अस सपोज वी मेक द सैंपल साइज 50. अब यहाँ पर you have 28 smokers and 22 non-smokers, and let us suppose 10 people of these 28 have developed lung cancer and 4 people have developed lung cancer who do not smoke. Now इससे आप क्या, ये वैल्यू से आप क्या इन्फ्रेंस ले सकते हैं? नाउ इफ यू लुक एट इट क्लोजली, look at this value and this value. ठीक है, so from this you can infer that from the above given values, these values, out of 50 subjects, 28 smokers had almost double incidence of lung cancer when compared to 22 smokers. ठीक है, या देखो यहाँ पर 5 लोगों को था, यहाँ पर 18 लोगों में से 5 लोगों को ही है. यहाँ पर जैसा बढ़ाते जा रहे हैं आप, 28 करे, ऑलमोस्ट डबल कर दिए, ये भी कैंसर का डेवलपमेंट भी डबल हो गया. सो इट कैन बी एसोसिएटेड दैट people who smoke have a higher tendency of developing lung cancer when compared to non-smokers. Because if you look here, 12 लोगों में से 3 लोगों को ही था कैंसर, 22 लोगों में से 4 लोगों को ही है कैंसर. ठीक है, it is not increasing as potentially or as exponentially when compared to smokers. ठीक है, so you keep on increasing the sample size till you can make sensible inferences. All right, that is what sequential sampling is. You start off with the minimum number of sample, you try to perform your you try to perform your experiment. If suppose you are not getting desirable results, you increase the sample size again. फिर भी नहीं आ रहा, फिर इंक्रीज करते, वो इंक्रीज करते जाते टिल यू गेट डिजायरेबल रिजल्ट्स फ्रॉम योर एक्सपेरिमेंट. ठीक है, दैट इज सीक्वेंशियल सैम्पलिंग एसेंशियली. Now, this advantage of sequential sampling is that it will facilitate you to conduct a study in the best possible smallest representative sample. So you can keep the sample size the smallest while giving possibly good results. ठीक है, आप मिनिमम सैंपल साइज रख सकते हैं विद गिविंग प्रॉपर सैंपल रिजल्ट्स. इंस्टेड ऑफ टेकिंग अ बिग सैंपल साइज एंड ट्राइंग टू गेट रिजल्ट्स फ्रॉम देम, यू टेक द मिनिमम सैंपल साइज एंड ट्राई टू गेट द रिजल्ट्स आउट ऑफ देम. ठीक है, if you're not getting, you're adding a few more things or a few more samples essentially. Okay, biggest disadvantage with this is that it is not possible to study a phenomena which needs to be studied at one point of time. So here yahan par you are studying a phenomenon over a time, over a period of time, meaning they are smokers and non-smokers, and over a few years they are developing lung cancer. With this type of sampling you cannot study phenomena that are occurring right now. ठीक है, बिकॉज यहाँ पर टाइमलाइन आ जाता. ठीक है, यू आर लुकिंग एट सब्जेक्ट्स ओवर अ लॉन्गर पीरियड ऑफ टाइम वेदर दे आर डेवलपिंग सर्टन सिम्टम्स और नॉट. ठीक है, and based on that you are increasing sample size. Maybe if you're not getting sample size the result that you want in a smaller sample size, you keep on increasing till you get a desirable result. Okay, and another disadvantage is that it requires repeated entries into the field. ठीक है, अगेन एंड अगेन यू हैव टू कीप ऑन एंटरिंग द फील्ड एंड यू हैव टू कलेक्ट द सैंपल। ठीक है, एक बार में आप एक्सपेरिमेंट खत्म नहीं कर सकते, इट विल गो ऑन फॉर अ लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम। So that is about sequential sampling. That concludes our probabilistic type of sequential sampling. Now coming to non-probabilistic sequential sampling. The biggest difference between probabilistic and non-probabilistic or non-probability sampling, non-probability sampling is that, see, if you remember probability sampling, mein I told you everyone gets a equal chance of getting represented, everyone gets a equal chance of getting selected for the sample. Non probability sample mein ulta rehta, this is a process that does not give all individuals in the population equal chance of being selected. Okay, there is a non-equal chance of getting selected, because of which you will get biased samples and biased results. Okay, there is a reason why you use this type of sampling. This will also restrict the generalizations that you can make about a study, okay, about the population as such. Now if you are selecting randomly from a population, let us suppose I have a population of 5,000 people, उसमें से मैं randomly 200 लोगों को select करा, so I can be sure that the representation that I will get out of these 200 people representing those 500 will be quite high. ठीक है, you can make generalizations after you run the experiment on these 200. But if you perform non-probability sampling, you are selecting 200 no doubt, but they are biased. You are looking for specific criteria, and you only if those people are meeting those criteria, you are including them in that 200 category. ठीक है, that is why the results are biased and they cannot be generalized as such. ठीक है, now the reason why non-probability sampling is used, actually non-probability sampling is used far more than probabilistic sampling. This is because in any form of research, true random sampling is always difficult to achieve. Somewhere or the other you will find some a form of non-randomness coming in, some form of bias coming in. Okay, and most of the time researchers are bound by either time, money, workforce. Okay, uh, because of which what will happen is all of these limitations will make it difficult for you to randomly sample individuals. Okay, so randomly sample entire population, especially if the population is very very big. Okay, and what you do is subjects in non-probability sampling is are selected on the basis of accessibility. Whether or not they are accessible will be the first criteria for you. If they are not accessible, you will not include them at all, even if your sample is getting skewed, even if your sample is getting biased towards one population. For example, let us suppose we are running a experiment on all South Indians that are available in Telangana, or some experiment on South Indians. Let us suppose blood disorders that occur in South Indian individuals. Now, wherever that researcher is running their experiment, let us suppose the population that they have access to, main population that they have access to, are only people from Telangana. They don't have access to people, a lot of people from Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and so on, Andhra Pradesh. So, आप क्या करते हैं? Even if you don't have access, because these people are accessible to you, you will take them. Even though it will create bias, and even though you will mention specifically this is a non-probability type of sampling, and I've only selected Telangana people as representative of South Indian people, even though it will not represent the population very well, because you are leaving out a lot of people. Okay, you will include a few, but whoever is accessible, that will be given first preference. Okay, you might also use purposes personal judgment. Okay, based on your experience, based on your judgment, based on your knowledge, you will select certain individuals and you will not select certain individuals. So वहां पर भी bias आ जाता. ठीक है. Now, the results of this research cannot be used for generalization pertaining to an entire population. So, whenever you perform probabilistic sampling and you get certain results, let us suppose you found blood disorders. Mein, there was anemia which was rampant in Telangana. Now, you cannot tell anemia is rampant in South India. You can only tell that anemia is rampant in Telangana. Okay, essentially you can tell ये particular condition is seen in this population or seen only in these people, rather than telling it is present in the whole population. You can only tell it is present in the sample that I have taken. Okay, you can not make big generalizations in this type of sampling. Okay, And when do you use it? You use it when you need to show particular trait. Okay, if you want to show whether or not a particular trait is existent in a population, let us suppose you want to show one particular gene defect that is present in a certain population. Asha, for example, near Russia, or I don't know, in near some tribal area, I think it was in Europe or somewhere, I don't remember exactly where. There are people who are resistant to HIV. Okay, listen carefully. There are people, there's a certain tribe of individuals in the world who are resistant to HIV. Now, human immunovirus, this fellow will target CD8 plus T cells, right? You've already read the pathophysiology, so I'm not going to go into the detail. But the main target cell for HIV is CD8 plus T cell. These individuals are not capable of making CD8 plus T cell, because of which what will happen is they have an innate immunity to HIV. Even if HIV is entering into your body, it is not able to find any cell where it can go inside and start proliferating. Okay? Because CD8 plus T cells are not present, they are essentially immune from HIV. So ये अगर आप trait, let's suppose you are the researcher who was trying to prove this. Okay, you are trying to research a population and you want to show that they are resistant to HIV. You are specifically looking, or you are specifically trying to prove that the individuals that you are taking in your population have a specific type of trait. In that scenario, non-probabilistic sampling बहुत अच्छा काम करती, ठीक है? और पायलट स्टडी करना है, एक्सप्लोरेटिव स्टडी करना है, यू डू नॉट हैव द टाइम टू परफॉर्म अ प्रॉपर बिग प्रोबेबिलिस्टिक सैम्पलिंग, तो जो भी एक्सेसिबल है उनको सामने से ले लेके आप qualitative type of या pilot study कर ले रहे before you can do your main study. In that scenario as well, this non-probabilistic sampling is very useful. When random sampling is impossible, let us suppose the population is limitless. Your population is extremely huge, or maybe limitless. Maybe your population is going into future generations as well. In that scenario as well, you cannot perform random sampling, wherein non-probabilistic sampling will come into picture. Okay. So those are some areas where non-probabilistic sampling is used. Now, coming to the first type of non-probabilistic sampling, we have purposive sampling. ठीक है? Purposive sampling को judgmental sampling या authoritative sampling भी बोलते हैं. Subjects are chosen to be part of a sampling with specific purpose in mind. ठीक है? एक particular purpose है which you want to prove or you want to satisfy, and for that purpose the researcher believes that some subjects are able to fit the research criteria better compared to other individuals. There is a specific purpose that the researcher already has in mind, and based on that purpose the researcher will select individuals. Generally, yeah, is ये scenario में what they will do is the researcher will hire someone, or the researcher themselves are an expert who have in-depth knowledge about the accessible population. ठीक है? And they will be able to provide help in selecting your purposive sampling. For example, um, let us suppose a researcher wants to study the lived experiences of post-disaster depression. Okay, let us suppose a researcher wants to study lived experiences. What is the experiences of individual of post-disaster of post-disaster depression? Okay, among earthquake affected people, among earthquake affected individuals of, let's say, Gujarat. ठीक है? So the researcher is looking for a very specific kind of sample. ठीक है? यहाँ पर you are looking at people who have already suffered through an earthquake in Gujarat. ठीक है? यहाँ पर purposive sampling is used to select subjects who are victims of earthquake disaster. ठीक है? First of all, the first criteria they need to meet is that they were present in that earthquake. ठीक है? And after that, they have suffered from post disaster depression. ठीक है? They are living with post disaster depression, and they are still living in Gujarat area. ठीक है? For this study, the researcher will only select those people who fulfill the criteria And what will happen is the subjects are very typical and they are representative of the population. In this scenario, the population will be people from Gujarat who have experienced earthquake. Okay? And your sample will specifically include people from Gujarat who are affected by earthquake and who have post disaster depression. ठीक है, आपका पर्पस बहुत स्पेसिफिक है. यू आर ट्राइंग टू स्टडी पोस्ट डिजास्टर डिप्रेशन. आफ्टर द डिजास्टर दे आर गोइंग इनटू डिप्रेशन. वो डिप्रेशन कौन से पेशेंट्स में है, आप किस में पढ़ रहे हैं? इन people who have suffered an earthquake in one particular area. So even if the your population is population of Gujarat, it is not the entire population of Gujarat. It is only the population of individuals who have suffered an earthquake. And even amongst that, you are only selecting people for the sample who are suffering from disaster depression, post disaster depression. ठीक है? So you are using this when limited number of individuals produce your trait of interest. ठीक है? Out of the number of people in Gujarat, few people might have experienced earthquake altogether, and वो few में से थोड़े लोग को depression होगा. ठीक है? Let us suppose they are about 10 million people in Gujarat. Let us suppose. ठीक है? Out of the 10 million, let us suppose 2 million have suffered from earthquake, and out of that, let us suppose 5 lakh people are having depression. ठीक है, तो आपका सैंपल साइज बहुत छोटा हो जाता. वो पोस्ट डिजास्टर डिप्रेशन में से भी आप सेलेक्टेड इंडिविजुअल्स को लेते. व्हेन योर सैंपल साइज इज लिमिटेड, ठीक है, लिमिटेड टू पीपल हु ओनली हैव दैट स्पेसिफिक ट्रेट. वो ट्रेट रहना, पहले उन्हें अर्थक्वेक से सफर होना, एंड अर्थक्वेक से सफर होने के बाद दे शुड हैव डिप्रेशन एज वेल. सो इफ योर patients are able to meet all of those criteria, only then you will perform this purposive sampling, or only then you will include them in purposive sampling. Okay. Now, the biggest merits of this, or the biggest disadvantage of purposive sampling, is that it is very simple to draw a sample, especially for explorative studies, and it will save a lot of resources and it requires less field work. Okay. A lot of paperwork but less field work. Disadvantage is that it requires considerable knowledge about the population under study. Let us suppose you hire a researcher, or you yourself as a researcher are selecting people for the sample. अगर आप reliably population को identify नहीं कर सक रहे, whether they are depressed or not, essentially reliability of the expert or the authority, whoever you are hiring, or if you are the authority itself, there is no way to know how well or how reliable that authority or that researcher is. Their knowledge is essentially about that. ठीक है, क्योंकि आप एक researcher पे rely कर रहे, telling you that, see, these are the people who are depressed. Now they might be, they might not be, or they might be depressed because of a different condition. They might not be depressed because of earthquake, they might be depressed because of a different condition altogether. So in this scenario, reliability and bias, both of them will become a very big problem. ठीक है, purpose of sampling में bias, because you are only selecting certain individuals. You are not selecting everyone from Gujarat, and you are not certainly not selecting everyone who has suffered an earthquake from Gujarat. You are specifically selecting only people who have post disaster depression after earthquake. तो first of all, ये एक्सपर्ट की रिलायबिलिटी आना कि दे आर एबल टू आइडेंटिफाई हु इज डिप्रेस्ड. ठीक है, देन you are specifically creating a bias by only selecting a certain number of individuals. तो ये दो बहुत बड़े प्रॉब्लम रहते हैं purposive sampling के. ठीक है, then we come to convenience sampling. Now, convenience sampling is one of the most common types of sampling techniques, probably the most common types of sampling techniques. They're very fast, inexpensive, and easy, and subjects are readily available. ठीक है, subjects are selected due to their convenience and accessibility. Also, to their proximity to the researcher. The closer the sample is, the better for the researcher and for the sample itself. ठीक है, this type of sampling is completely based on convenience altogether. For example, इसको accidental sampling भी बोलते हैं because of this reason. ठीक है, यहाँ पर you definitely cannot show any representation to the entire population. Even if you are selecting individuals, यहाँ पर representation बताने का कोई hope नहीं है. ठीक है, when will you use this convenience sampling? I'll give you an example. Let us suppose a researcher wants to conduct a study on old people, on geriatric patients, rather than patients, I would say only older people residing in one particular city. Let us suppose a researcher wants to conduct a study on older people residing in Ludhiana. Okay? And the researcher observes that they can meet several old people for morning walk. People who come for morning walk in a local park, okay, wherever that researcher is situated. Let us suppose he is living in a certain corner of Ludhiana, and there is a park there where a lot of old people will come in the morning for walking. He can choose people from those, who those people who are coming for a walk as their as his research subjects. Okay, and the subjects are readily accessible to the researcher, and this will save a lot of time, will save a lot of money and resources as well, rather than you going to different hospitals, rather than you going to different places, and trying to seek out old people who can be part of this research. आप क्या कर रहे हैं? You are conveniently going to the closest location which is available to you. वहां पर जाके आपका sample collect कर ले रहे हैं. ठीक है? It's very very convenient. That is why it is called convenient sampling. It is convenient to both you and the sample itself. ठीक है? जनरली पायलट स्टडीज कन्वीनियंट सैम्पलिंग के वे से यूज करते, बिकॉज यहाँ पर द रिसर्चर ओनली वांट्स टू ऑब्टेन बेसिक डेटा. he wants to find out basic data, and he wants to understand basic trends. ठीक है? After they have done the pilot study without any complications, then they can apply random sampling if they need to. Convenience sampling is very very useful in case of pilot studies. ठीक है? Especially useful when you are trying to detect relationship among different phenomena. Let us suppose you are trying to detect relationship between age and body pains. ऐसे फिनोमेना अगर आप रिसर्च करना चाह रहे हो, उसमें कन्वीनियंस सैम्पलिंग बहुत इजी रहता. तो as I told you in the previous example, एज एंड बॉडी पेन अगर आप करना चाह रहे, तो हायर एज के लोगों को, लोअर एज के लोगों को, किसको भी आप वो पार्क में से ले सकते. ठीक है? इट इज वेरी इजी. पीपल हु आर कमिंग, जस्ट वॉक अप टू देम, टेक द दिस थिंग, क्या बोलते, कंसेंट लेटर, टेल देम अबाउट द रिसर्च. इफ दे आर इंटरेस्टेड, दे विल sign up, or else not. ठीक है? Very very convenient, because you'll get so many people present in the this thing, park. Your sample will definitely get filled. ठीक है? Now the biggest demerit of using this is that the most obvious criticism that convenience sampling gets is sampling bias. Okay? And that the sample is not representative of the entire population. Those are the two main problems. Sampling bias आ सकता है, and representation का problem आता. ठीक है? So that is about convenience sampling. You're conveniently using your own methods, whatever is convenient to you, उन लोगों को select कर रहे हैं. Then we have volunteer sampling. ठीक है? Now as the name suggests, volunteer sampling में आप क्या कर रहे हैं? You are literally putting an advertisement or something like that in the local media or newspaper or something, and participants themselves are volunteering to attend your experiment or to be a part of your experiment. For example, let us suppose a nurse is interested in assessing effectiveness of a certain yoga pose in reduction of blood pressure. ठीक है? Yoga technique hai, some let's suppose the researcher is interested in finding out whether performing half an hour of yoga every day is helpful in decreasing blood pressure, especially chronic blood pressure in patients. Is it able to control blood pressure in patients? वो मालूम करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. And what that researcher will do is, let us suppose what the nurse is doing is, they are putting a advertisement in a local newspaper. Maybe they are going approaching a local news company, and they are giving the advertisement about the study. Okay? Saying that, look, I'm doing this research in this hospital. You can, hospital or wherever they are doing it. uh, I'm looking for volunteers. So people who already have blood pressure, उन लोगों को, whenever they come to this yoga classes, you can perform a pre and post assessment of blood pressure before performing yoga and after performing yoga. How is their blood pressure? ठीक है? Is it more, less, is it the same? तो आपको instantly, interested people ही आ जाते. You don't have to, biggest problem again is bias, but essentially यहाँ पर क्या होता, the volunteer themselves are coming up. You don't have to go out and start looking for people. ठीक है? main characteristic of this volunteer sampling technique, is that researcher only disseminates information about their researcher activity to target population. Okay. In this scenario, target population is people who have hypertension. Accessible population will be people who are interested, who are coming here. Okay. Target population is anyone who has blood pressure, and people who can benefit from yoga, people who have hypertension who can benefit from yoga. Accessible population will be people who are coming up to that nurse or to that researcher and telling, okay, I am interested, I want to be a part of the study. ठीक है. यहाँ पर interested participants themselves are volunteering to participate in the study, so there is no problem in going out and trying to look for people. ठीक है. Main problems that will occur, the demerits of this is that systematic error or bias can occur, because people who have access to particular medium of receiving researchers published data, only they can see the study. Let us suppose there are people who have hypertension but they don't have a television at their home, or simply don't watch television and they don't read news. वहां पर सिस्टमैटिक बायस आ जा रहा, because they are not receiving any information about this. Even if they are interested in this kind of research, if they do not know about this research, they'll not be able to come to that research center. Okay. That is the biggest disadvantage of this. And representativeness, obviously there'll be no representativeness of the population. You cannot represent a population with these kinds of studies. Okay. Now, in the next class, we'll look at the other types of non-probabilistic sampling. There are 2, 3 more. Okay. So, end the class here for now.